hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to the Closet Movie Rambles, where I talk about all movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, and it was made last year in 2021, and it's about 1 hour and 47 minutes long. And the movie starts at an orphanage, where two orphans, Chris and Clara Redfield, are staying at, and Clara gets awoken in the middle of the night by a strange creature, and she's scared, and she falls asleep again, but later she awakes and she explores the facility alone, which is, of course, is a good idea, and she finds this girl again, and the girl tells her that her name is Lisa Trevor, and she lives below this facility, which is creepy in itself, and then she gets jump scared, and she awakes in the real world, or in the current time, which is 1998. She is in a truck with a greasy truck driver, to say the least, and he's eating a greasy burger. So this is a reference to the Resident Evil 2 remake, which driver eats a greasy cheeseburger for no reason. So the driver is obviously sleazy, and they talk forth and back, and the driver hits a girl in the middle of the road. So they both go out and check on the girl, but the girl is gone, and then the trucker's dog goes out to lick the blood from the girl, which can't be seen, and Claire thinks she can see the girl in like the distance. And then cutting to an intro crawl where they explain a little bit about the Umbrella Company and what they do, and they're not good guys, as it seemed. They are basically everything from like bioengineering to making milk cartridges, stuff like really weird stuff. And then cutting to Leon waking up. He is late for his job, and he's apparently new in Raccoon City. So in the video games, I believe he was like blonde or had like light colored hair, but in this he looks more like the other guy called Carlos. He has black hair and it's curly. So I was like, is this Carlos? This is interesting. No, it's Leon. So Leon gets picked on at the first day of his new job, and he's in a diner sleeping, and the other crew, like Jill Valentine and Wesker, they make a bet on like hitting a ketchup bottle that they put on his sleeping head. Yeah, he's not having a good time. And then Jill throws like a little Nerf gun at him and wakes him up, and Jill steals Wesker's sandwich. She says it's a Jill sandwich now, which is a in-game Resident Evil joke at this point. So yeah, so Leon talks to the diner's owner, and she starts to bleed from her eye for some reason, and she just waves it off as like it's nothing. And obviously something is going on in this town, and then a bird flies right into the window and just dies. And then Clara gets off with the truck driver, basically drops her off in Raccoon City, and the dog bites the driver right after that. So he's gonna turn into a zombie, and things are going to get really bad. So Clara goes to her old house, or in this case Chris's house, and she breaks in there, and there are two creepy, like an adult and a kid watching her while she does so. And in the Chris obviously finds out that she's been breaking in because he was in there all along, and they talk about the conspiracy theory about the Umbrella and how they poison the water, and basically the people are, something weird is about to happen, and Chris dismisses this, and all of a sudden the air sirens goes off and stuff starts to happen. So Chris leaves, and Claire gets attacked by two infected people. So people are basically turning into zombies now. And she managed to steal Chris's bike, and she rides off. And at the Raccoon police station, the team gears up, Jill, Wesker, and Valentine. And Wesker gets a message on his pager, and obviously he is up to no good, something is wrong. And then flash back to Claire as a kid, and then in present time as people start to turn into zombies. And this is a funny scene. Leon is not very capable of what he's doing, so the chief putting it at like the help desk of the police station, and the zombie trucker drives like right in front of the police station and topples over the truck, and it starts to burn and explode and stuff, and he doesn't wake up, and the zombie driver walks in while on fire, and the police chief kind of shoots him, guns him down. And I thought, like, Leon, what are you doing, man? Incompetent. Yeah. So the police chief leaves Leon in charge. He goes down to the garage area, just drives off. And Jill and Chris and Wesker goes to the helicopter to find Bravo team because they've lost contact with them. So they end up in the middle of the woods with like the car tipped over, and they follow the trail to a place called Spencer Mansion. Uh, and the chief actually drives back to the police station because the Umbrella military armed forces start to shoot at people because they're not allowed to leave the city. And as he returns to the garage, he gets attacked by a zombie dog, and he gets saved by Claire. And Leon arrives just too late. So Leon doesn't. He's not doing a good job, as I said. And then cutting back to Spencer Mansion, and they look around and they find the survivor of the Bravo team, but he gets killed by a zombie. But spoilers, he turns into a zombie and attacks them later. So zombies attack the helicopter pilot, and yeah. So Wesker goes to sit down and play the piano. I think this is a reference to the game. And all of a sudden the helicopter crashed through the window and it's like a large explosion. And Claire, Leon, and the others gear up. And Leon goes down to the holding cells and he finds a guy that's locked up with another guy about to turn into a zombie. And he's locked up there because he knows too much and he knows exactly what the Umbrella is doing. And Leon, as stupid as he is, he's a rookie. The guy disarms him from his gun and, makes him open the bars of the cell, the door, and lets him out. But he gets killed by the zombie anyway. So good work, Leon. So Leon actually gets saved by Claire in this case. And then finally Leon does something right. He actually shoots the other zombie thing that they thought was dead. So later, Wesker Jill wakes up from the explosion, and Wesker uses his pager and he opens up a hidden door in the mansion down to the lab area, basically. And Jill realized that he's in for the money and he was never a good part of their team. And then at the station, the zombies are attacking, so Claire, Leon, and the chief has to run. So they go to the orphanage, and Claire has a flashback to what happened in the past, and Leon sees Lisa, and the police chief gets attacked by a tentacle, which belongs to a licker. And the licker is one of those staple monsters from the Resident Evil franchise. And Lisa helps them dispatch the licker, and she shows them the way to Umbrella's secret lab below the orphanage. And then cutting to Chris shooting a bunch of monsters and zombies and whatnot, and he gets saved by Jill Valentine, and Jill basically tells him that Wesker has betrayed him for the money. And then cutting back to Leon and Claire, they find this old projector which shows a creepy film of two blonde kids tearing off the wing of a firefly and feeding it to ants. And I think this is a reference to one of the Resident Evil games. I forget which one, but yeah. And Claire sees some files and she freaks out about it. And then cutting to Wesker finding Dr. William, which is the guy that was responsible for this experimenting on orphans. So not a pleasant guy. So in this conflict, they end up in a firefight, and Wesker gets shot, and he accidentally shoots William, and Wesker also kills William's wife. And there's a daughter. I forgot what her name was, but she's left there as well. And in this turmoil, William pumps him full of himself full of this. I don't know which type of virus it was. Obviously, it was the T or G virus, but things are about to get real. So Jill enters the room and she shoots Wesker, and Wesker has a change of heart and tells him that basically they need to leave. And William's body starts to change, and Chris is forced to fight William, and Claire shoots William in the face, and they think he's dead, but he's not. This is a common trope in the Resident Evil franchise. So they try to escape the mansion in a train, and this is straight up ripped from the game ending. So they're about to leave, but the whole thing explodes and it caves in on them, and they get attacked by the mutated form of William. And they shoot at it, they try to knife it to death, but nothing is working. And then Leon steps up with a rocket launcher and just kills William. Good job, Leon. Good job. And yeah, that's about the end of the movie. They basically leave alive from this whole catastrophe. And then cutting to Wesker waking up in a body bag, which is a brilliant scene. He doesn't really know what's been happening. He can't see really well, so he get a pair of glasses, which are iconic to the character itself. So Ada Wong is there and basically tells him and talks about him or with him, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. So what do I think about this movie? There are some, I think the fans is the one they're most critical about it. There's some casting choices that I don't really get, because in the game I remember Wesker having like blonde hair, and I remember like Leon not having long black curly hair, and Jill Valentine was not the way she was in the movie, but it's overall like faithful to the overall arcing story of the games, and the games are kind of corny to begin with themselves, and they are kind of have like a special kind of fan base, but I really like the movie anyway for what it was. It's a good action movie, and it has zombies in it, and I think they did a good job. So anyway, thanks for listening and for watching, and take care.